some of these issues that you are raising, unfortunately, you can't wish them away. You can only solve the problem that is there. If you are not solving it, then whatever explanation you give may not suffice.
As we all know, in the political arena of the Republic of Kenya right now, there is some certain uncertainty that we are currently experiencing. But one voice that has remained defiant again is the president, yet they enjoy the privileges of being in this government of President William Ruto, is none other than the Kiharu Member of Parliament, Honorable Ndidi Nyoro. Now, President William Ruto and his team, all the loyalties, all the loyalties of President William Ruto, most so those affiliated with the Mount Kenya region, have laid out a strategy to counter the defiant voice of one Ndidi Nyoro. But let me ask you a question. What actually does Ndidi Nyoro want for his political future? I mean, what is the end game of Ndidi Nyoro going against President William Ruto, yet he does not in any way associate himself with the opposition led by the former DP, Rigathi Gachagua? That is the question that I'm asking. Nyoro speaks sense every time that he speaks. He speaks for the sake of the people of this republic. And I dare say that the man is loved and people really believe what he does because he sits down and does the correct analysis, then gives out the analysis to the people. It's upon the people to analyze what Nyoro says and take it in or refuse. Now, when you look at how the Kenya Kwanza administration more so in the Mount Kenya region is running business right now, Kindiki is a leader that even though you might dismiss him, even though you might say that Kindiki has no influence in the mountain, I dare say his current rise through the empowerment development program has really got the people talking about this man. And once you have the people talking about you and what you're doing, that is what President William Ruto wants. And now there is this certain revelation that has come to light. This defiant voice of Ndidi Nyoro, it is not about anybody else. It's about him trying to make sure that President William Ruto, when it comes to choosing a running mate come the year 2027, he will either choose him or choose nobody else. Because let me tell you, Ndidi Nyoro has a chance, yes, at going for the gubernatorial seat of Murang'a County. Are we together? But the gubernatorial seat of Murang'a County is currently held by a man called Irongo Kang'ata. Now, one thing, Irongo Kang'ata, you cannot compete with him right now. It doesn't matter how good you are. You can't compete with him in Murang'a County. Reason being, the man has done exemplary work in the last 3 years that he has served as the as the governor of Murang'a County. So the people of Murang'a love Ndidi Nyoro, yes, but they can't give him that position as the governor of Murang'a right now, knowing that they have a debt with Irongo Kang'ata of him completing the 10 years that they're supposed to give him. The work that he has begun in his first term, he has to continue with it in his second term and complete it. Now, Ndidi Nyoro can't go for this seat. And one thing we know, Ndidi Nyoro is not going again to vie for Kiharu. And if he can't vie for Kiharu, he can't vie for the gubernatorial seat. Now, which other position can Ndidi Nyoro actually be involved in the 2027 general election? The only place that Ndidi Nyoro is fit is either the deputy presidential candidate or no other, or maybe even given a role as a cabinet secretary in William Ruto's government. And you know, the only cabinet slot that Ndidi Nyoro can, his intellectuality and his experience can be associated with is the cabinet slot of treasury, which is currently held by John Mbadi. Now, will Ndidi Nyoro get the cabinet slot of treasury? It is so hard. But is there a chance for him to go against Kindiki and be chosen as the right running mate for President William Ruto in the Mount Kenya region come the year 2027, I dare say there is a chance. But he has to convince President William Ruto. And because he cannot go ahead giving praises or singing praises to President William Ruto ahead of the year 2027, he has to go against William Ruto. Then, when time comes, he will join hands with William Ruto, who is his master, by the way. Now, I want you to listen to this statement. Now, tough times are lie ahead for KRU MP Ndidi Nyoro as fresh details emerge about President William Ruto's loyalist planned political counterattack against him in Mount Kenya. Once a key member of Ruto's inner circle during the 2022 campaigns, Nyoro has drifted far from the president's camp and is now one of his loudest critics in the region. His growing defiance has alarmed Ruto's allies, who now have placed him on their radar. Speaking to Nation Africa, TSP leader Mwangi Kionjori, a Ruto camp insider, spilled the beans on Ruto's planned counters against the defiant lawmaker. Now, according to Kionjori, Team Ruto has planned a charm offensive meant to politically isolate Nyoro. Kionjori confirmed that they are targeting the KRU MP for dancing on the periphery with no certainty of where he is headed. Despite being mentored politically by President William Ruto, Nyoro's silence about his future political ambitions has only deepened the confusion. Even as his public criticism of Ruto increases, sources say that the president's men view him as a potential threat and are moving swiftly to neutralize him and his influence in the region ahead of the year 2027. Now, over the weekend, Ruto's loyalists, led by Kindiki, Kimani Ichung'wah, William Kabogo, and Kionjori, met in Murang'a, Kirinyaga, and Nyeri, where they agreed to roll out a grassroots campaign targeting key critics, Nyoro included. Now, their goal is to win back support and tighten control over the region with successive neutralization of likes of Rigathi Gachagua and Ndidi Nyoro. Nyoro is yet to respond to the move, but insiders warn that things are only going to get tougher for him as Ruto's team escalates counterattacks. The counterattacks planned, we all know how politics is played. They have to roll out a smear campaign. And what they are, and I dare say, more so, this is not a plan for Ruto. Remember when Ruto was visiting the Mount Kenya region, and when the question about Ndidi Nyoro came in, Ruto said, Nyoro is like a son to me. I have mentored him politically. And, people have differences. And at the end of the day, I will be the one that will lead Nyoro to his greatest political height. Because I know him. He is somebody that can come to lead this nation. That is what Ruto said. Now, people expected William Ruto to, downplay Ndidi Nyoro. But let me tell you, you cannot downplay Ndidi Nyoro because of he has worked for his people in KRU. He owns a very, very, very key role in the politics of the region. So, if you are fighting against Ndidi Nyoro, you are fighting against the region. But, he is a threat, not to William Ruto, but to William Ruto's deputy president, Kithure Kindiki. And for Kithure Kindiki to ensure that things are working out for him come the year 2027, so that he can retain his position as the running mate of President William Ruto, he has to counter this man who is developing his political base by criticizing the government. And the seat that Nyoro is eyeing is the deputy presidential seat. Why am I saying this? Nyoro is eyeing the deputy presidential seat because he knows if he and William Ruto are the same and they have the same ticket come the year 2027 and Ruto goes ahead to win in the year 2027, Nyoro knows in the year 2032 he will have a chance at the presidency. He will have a chance at the presidency. And if he gets a chance at the presidency, I tell you, he is going to take it. And the year 2032, he wants to run for presidency, for the president. So, Kindiki, to avoid Nyoro going this route, he has to develop countermeasures. And countermeasures is using other loyalists to President William Ruto to attack Nyoro and play the card of belittling Nyoro's analysis and Nyoro's criticism against this government. You have seen Nyoro try to explain why we should be having free education, that William Ruto and team, they have borrowed money enough to fund this economy for a very long time, but that money does not find its way into the circulation of the economy of the Republic of Kenya. So he has been, Nyoro, once he speaks, he plays with facts. He tells you how it is. He wants you to imagine that we have borrowed 1 trillion Kenyan shillings. But that we have borrowed 1 trillion, yet there is no funds to cater for free education. There is no funds to make sure that the fuel prices in the country go down. So where is this money going that we have borrowed? Which means this money finds its way into the pocket of the people, of a few people, and it does not return or enter into the circulations of the economy. And that is where we fail. Remember, Nyoro is an economist. Once you hear a man is an economist and he has studied that, he has studied that course for the longest time that Nyoro has studied it, you know that this man has facts wrapped up around his little finger. So he knows how to play the politics that they want him to play. Now, it's about time we wait and see how Ruto will take this. Now, it's not a fight between Ruto and Nyoro. It's a fight between Kindiki and Ndidi Nyoro. For now, that's what's up. I want to hear your comments in regards to this. Leave a comment in the comment section. See you in our next video. Remember, this is the Kenyan Daily Report.